Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Prestige Auctions. It's All Things Auction, the podcast where me and Chris talk you through the day-to-day goings-on in the auction industry that we know and the buying and selling things that go on in and around auction rooms, and basically just chat about anything that comes into our heads, but usually buyer and seller related. Did you enjoy last week's podcast?
Yeah, I thought it was a good one.
It was,
a lot of people have come up to me and said that they thought it was really funny, both funny and informative.
Well, I mean, we try to be informative. We try to be as informative as we can, but of course, it's not every week you get a bloated fox on your podcast, is it? And I think we need. Let's not talk about the week that was first of all, because we need to talk about that. Let's talk about the podcast that was, because of course last week we put out on the podcast that the fact that Colin, one of our buyers, had been purchasing from other auction rooms, which is fine. We can cope with that. But when it was noted, yeah. But when you're buying pictures of, and so just for anybody that had forgotten, here's a picture of the fox. My God, that fox! In fact, somebody actually commented on the last week's podcast, and they just put that fox, laugh out loud, and it was just, we had a real good laugh about it in the auction room on Saturday as well. And then mysteriously, he had it on eBay. It sold on Saturday night
because he's now famous.
Well, I think that Colin owes us a 10%. It was me. I think Colin owes us a 10% commission.
Yeah,
because I think we got that fox away for him.
Yeah,
I think other people looked at that podcast and thought, well, let's face it, there's no other fox that's going to look like it, is there? So it'd be quite easy to match up. But you probably just did a Google search.
We've got a track record because we did get the elves away.
Yes,
that have been on the podcast. So it works. There's commission based.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
I still think we need to do what I was telling you about on Saturday, is we need to have an auction hall of shame. We can't have the real thing in because everybody sort of like manages to sell it in the end, but probably a little picture montage somewhere of some of the worst things that you've managed to sell.
Yeah, I think that could be quite interesting, couldn't it, really? You know, because let's face it, we've all got that one item. I mean, I remember years ago you buying the headless Jesus.
It's quite famous, that one, isn't it?
And of course you sold it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because somebody else would have come along and looked at it and had a laugh about it and thought, oh, this.
Yeah, I've got a head for a Jesus, but no body. Yeah. So buy that.
Somebody's got the head sat around.
Different size, but it's like a pop head.
But I'll tell you what, before we go on about that, so let's talk about, as we should do, the last week's auction. Wow. Was it a good buying week, though? Was it a good buying week for Chris?
I judge an auction now on the Picasso load. And it was a 3 Picasso load auction this week.
Picasso, a car, that is, not an artist.
I ain't any of the real stuff now.
Not what I've seen your paintings. And
although I've got some pottery that was in the same room as Picasso.
Have you really? You've bought 3 carloads of stuff last week.
Yeah.
And we sort of talked about this in last week's podcast about, you know, ultimately when there's that many items in the auction room, which I think there's probably as many this week.
Yeah.
When there's that many items in the auction room, it's a good time for you buyers to come in and hoover up into it.
Bottom feed,
yeah. Hoover up, bottom feed, call it what you will. It's a good time. That's the difference between a lazy dealer and a good dealer. As they're going to come, they're going to stand the sale, they're going to hoover up the stuff at the bottom, and they're going to make money. And I bet I don't know because I've not asked you this question, but I bet you've already sold items on Saturday, haven't you?
Well, I had I think I had a 300 over, around about 300 quid spend. As we speak now, after what's happened today, I've just checked my Vinted out. I've got 270 back. And
270 back. It's Monday.
It's Monday, yeah.
It's Monday afternoon, you know, and it's you know, that is when we filmed this, and you're already £270 back, and realistically, how much of that stuff you sold? 5%?
Yeah, it's absolute minimal.
But of course, we do all know that when you buy lots of stuff, it doesn't all work out, does it?
No, but I was explaining this to Kim with buying job lot boxes, and I still maintain that buying job lot boxes, the more of them you buy, the more chance of you getting something that nobody else has spotted, something at the bottom, somebody else has hidden at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, you still get that chance of getting something quite special, and that happened again this week.
What was the special items? Was there anything that really stood out, or was it just an array of good items?
It was good stuff all the way through, but I managed to get myself a 19th century Indian silver milk jug, which is in a £4 box of brass, which is
and again, and that just goes. I've literally 10 minutes ago. I've just filmed this week's sneak peek, which of course people would have seen by the time this comes out. And I actually pick up on this and said about the amount of boxes that we end up disposing of, that we find really good stuff in the boxes.
Yeah.
And it's because if a box is that deep, people go down that deep.
Yeah.
They have a quick look over the top. There's nothing there.
Well, there's
nothing there for me.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at. Friday's a good long day for viewing, but there's still 1,400 items to look at. So
it's hard.
You're going to miss it. You're going to pick up, some days you're going to pick up some bargains and some things you didn't even know you'd got. I mean, how many times do you buy a box because you've spied something? It's like, I can't wait to get that box home because there's something that I know I can sell and I've got it cheap. You get it back, you pick the item out, and it's not the best item in the box.
No, there's something else.
Yeah.
So. But I think, when it comes to the art of going through mixed boxes at a general sale auction like Prestige and finding just bits and bobs. I mean, I used to love it when you'd buy a £4 box, or back in the day a £2 box as it was. You get it home, you've paid you've bought it, you got it bottom bid. So back in the days, £2.36, and you start rummaging afterwards, and you're like bin,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're like, oh, hang on, there's a £5, or that's a £10, that's a £20 note, and all of a sudden that £2.36 is at £40, just in a few items that you spotted because you can be bothered to put them on eBay, as it was back in the day. And I think this is where people are messing out, and I know just from the not solds this week that lots of people were lazy last week and didn't look through the boxes properly. It
changes things when you get some good stuff in a box, because you no longer have to battle your way through that £2 or £3 stuff. It's quite often.
That's a bit hot.
Quite often you think, I've got to make money out of this. I bought it. I've got to make money out of it. I've got to make it work. So if it's rubbish, you end up battling your way back up, don't you? Sort of like selling the little odds and sods in it.
Yeah.
But if you get like a £20 item in it, a £10 item, you don't need to bother with that stuff anymore.
No, and I think
cut the work out.
Yeah, of course, the one thing that you want as a dealer or a side hustler, I don't always like the word dealer, because dealer just reminds me of some obnoxious git in an auction room that thinks he knows everything.
Yeah, they've painted a picture of it now.
Yeah, whereas, a side hustler, someone's just trying to make a few quid extra. Their aim has always got to be, if you've paid out £10.50 for a box of stuff, to get that £10.50 back, to get that money back into the pot, to be able to buy more stuff. Once you've got that, the rest is gravy. And I think that's what we've all done in the past as buyers and sellers, is try and get your money back as quickly as you can.
Yeah, if you've spent £200-300 at the weekend, if you can get that £200 or £300 back before the next sale, and then the other stuff just sort of like, it just keeps feeding it.
You're ready to go again,
yeah,
aren't
you
you?
can go again, because the fear of missing out kicks in again next week, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that that people have already watched a video. This is going out on Friday, on Thursday night, of the stuff we was doing behind the auction on Saturday. We was out talking to people, interviewing people during my break and that, trying to get a feel and trying to show people on YouTube what it's like. Because on their screen they see a picture of the item and a picture of the auctioneer in the corner. They don't see what's going on. So we want to start showing that. And of course, we've never got to the stage of the fly on the wall documentary that we'd love to do at Prestige through the clearance business and the auction, but actually being able to show people just a little bit of what it's like behind. And the few people, was interesting. I went to speak to several people, asked if they wanted to speak on camera and that. And, it was just yes. Don't mind. And that's the sort of place it is. What do you think? Oh, you know what? I've hardly had any sleep these last few days. I'm absolutely knackered.
I don't think we've got that many people that shy of the camera, to be honest.
I think people they've just made it a little bit more interesting. One of the things I want to start feeding into the auction as well is picking on items that are going to sell and talking a little bit about them during the auction. I did it with some Jaguar bits and then interviewed Larry, who bought it afterwards. And of course, Larry is the resident Jaguar buyer, isn't he? Yeah. Really.
Because he had one in bread when he was Joey Boswell, didn't he?
He did.
We need to get some cones for his own parking space outside.
I wouldn't mind betting he's already got them, to be fair.
In the boot of his Jag.
Of course, but I mean, obviously, Larry being in charge of Colin, though, I would imagine that Larry will just say, Colin, get the cones out.
Because he's the daddy, isn't he?
He is.
Do you think Larry runs over the foxes and Colin just picks them up?
I think that fox, if it had been run over, it might have looked better.
Better shit face.
Anyway, we can't keep going on about the fox. We can't work that one to death. Although we will. Just a reminder, there's another picture of the fox, just in case. With this fox, I want you to put into the comments, right? Seriously, if you'd have seen this in an auction, firstly, would you have known it was a fox? And secondly, would you have bid on it if it was cheap? Let us know in the comments, and we'll pass your comments on.
And if you've bought it on eBay, what do you think of it?
Yeah, if you've just bought it on eBay.
I suppose you could, when it arrives, you would probably say, like, you send a message and say, I think it's been damaged by the courier.
I think if it got damaged, it would look better, and then they probably won't complain. But if it arrives perfect, then there's going to be a problem.
That's another thing. We needed a little rogues gallery of bag taxidermy.
We do, but let's not forget what our friend did this week. But got sabotaged in the middle. It was quite funny. The little ornament that got delivered during the auction, which was going to show today, but we forgot. So of course, Colin had got a border, painted it up in Prestige colours, put a Prestige badge on it, and put something about Carl, the auctioneer.
Drew some little glasses on it as well.
Of course, his friend found out about it and sabotaged it midway through, and altered the thing to Colin Ormston Prestige Auctions and a picture of it there. So it just shows you that there are no friends in this game, are there? You even try and do a bit of a Mickey take and someone sabotages it halfway through. So there you go. So that was the auction last week. It was packed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was such a busy auction room. I had an interesting call from a lady on Friday, I believe. She lived somewhere out Donny Way. And said, can I come to the auction? Can I come and view? Can I come and bid? Yeah, of course you can. And I think that this is another feeling about auction rooms. A lot of people believe that the local auction room is only for local people.
Right.
And I think, because of the way certain auction rooms have allowed people to be intimidated in the past, that no, if you are thinking of coming to Prestige Auctions, it's not like that, is it?
And we've sent stuff as well. If people have put commission bids in and
send it through the post,
delivery, yeah.
So it was a massive problem last week at the auction. People writing the wrong number down.
Yeah, there was a few people, weren't they?
And then they're quite blasé about it. They go, oh yeah, I just got my numbers the wrong way around. But then that's somebody else's number.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and by that point they've bought something.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people who put the wrong number down of things that they were buying as well, didn't they?
We had another instance today. So a chap's brought a bike back today. And because it was the electric bike, and granted it was a few quid, but when he's taken it away, he's gone to charge it up and it's not charging up properly. Now, you had a look at the charger and it looks like it's the charger that's playing up.
Yeah.
But how many times I've got to put this across to people? We're not a retail shop. You are buying what you see. No guarantees are given or implied. Please set the time to touch it. Now, another regular customer as well said something to me on Friday about the possibility. I want to cover this off actually, because the possibility of me saying something in a YouTube video saying about, try before you buy, and saying that I'm encouraging people to test things. We put the labels on saying get a qualified electrician or someone knows what they're talking about to test the items before you use them, and I stand by that. I absolutely do stand by what I said in the YouTube video as well, in the fact that we will not stop anybody bringing a qualified person to this auction room to test something. It happens quite a lot with cars.
Yeah.
So somebody will come along, I hope you don't mind, I've brought my mate along, he's a mechanic, he wants to look over the car. Crack on. We want people to walk away from here 100% happy. But, if you want to bring somebody along, we put a sticker on each of the electrical items that says, whatever it says about, getting a qualified person to check the item out, etc., etc. But that, that is also accounts for the auction room itself as well. Bring somebody along. If you don't know what you're doing, bring somebody along. Because, I don't know a lot about electrics. I certainly don't know about gas. And I certainly don't know anything about cars. So my first thought, if I was going to buy one of those items and I was thinking of spending about a few quid on it, then I would be going, well, hang on, let's see who can come and have a look at this for me. I think it kind of makes sense. Well,
if you're doing it regularly, if you're buying stuff from auction that's electrical, I mean, you can buy a pat tester for not a lot of money these days.
Yeah, I mean, we've been down this route in the past as well about pat testing, and the thing is, I mean, we all know that anybody that pat tests an item, as soon as an item then gets put in transit, the pat test is nil and void. Basically, it's got to be tested again.
Yeah, but it only means it ain't going to electrocute you when you plug it in.
Yeah,
Don't guarantee any of it.
Don't guarantee it's going to work. No, but I mean, of course, as a business, if we see anything, if we see, well, I would say to staff, if we see a break in a wire or like that, no, get rid.
Yeah.
Get rid. I mean, we're not into that sort of thing. But I mean, touch wood, fortunately, things are made a lot better these days than what they used to be, and sort of the trip systems and things work. But you can't ever guarantee that everything that comes through your door is perfect. I don't think a shop can guarantee that. You imagine a delivery to one of the big electrical retailers and it gets shaken around all over the place and something goes wrong. It can happen.
Well, look at those Amazon return pallets.
Well,
brand new items, so they've got electrical
I've
faults.
actually had a chap come to me this week talking about returns pallets, and I kind of knock them back based on, I don't mind the odd one every now and then, but with a return pallet, they've been returned for a reason.
Yeah.
And do I want to get into the game of selling stuff? I just don't want to get into the game of selling stuff that just doesn't work, because that's disappointing to people. And as much as we've got a duty of care to the buyer and the seller in an auction room.
It's short-lived, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're not coming back, are you? If you've bought something,
if you're continuously buying stuff that doesn't work,
yeah,
then then it becomes a problem. But it does come back to the old thing: you are buying what you see. No guarantees are given or implied. So please make sure you are happy before you raise your hand in the air. And people forget that. And people also think that we're a retail shop and we own the item. We don't. We're selling on behalf of, and so on. But we also want to try and make everyone happy as well. But we can't guarantee that either.
No, need people come back. You need return customers.
So what I would say to anybody, again, which we advertise quite a lot as well, is that if you are asking us, do we test anything? No, we don't. But we do check it. We do look at it. We do physically look at it, and and if maybe we miss something. But you know what? We've also got a very, very good bunch of customers here as well that are very quick to point things out to me.
Yeah.
And there's another thing as well. If somebody comes to me and says, "Carl, I've tried that out. It doesn't work," I've then gone and tested it myself. And if it doesn't work, it will have something put on it saying spares or repairs.
Yeah. And you mentioned it on the rostrum.
Or withdrawn. We had it, this isn't electrical, but we had it with a coin the other week. A coin had managed to get through that was fake.
I remember you saying.
And I had two bids on it, of something like a 30 and a 35 quid or something like that. So my natural opening bid would be £32 there. But I didn't know when them commission bids had come in. So, because we weren't sure, I just withdrew it. I didn't even give them the opportunity to bid on it. I withdrew it. Because we do want to create the best experience possible for everybody. However, one person's opinion won't necessarily get us to withdraw something from a sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the watches and things, it's tricky because whenever somebody makes something luxury, it's always going to be copied.
Yeah.
And I think that has happened for many, many, many years. Lots of years. Right back into Victorian times. You know, people were copying stuff. And ultimately, if somebody copies something, then again, well, let's put it this way. Let's use the brand Rolex and Omega and what's the other one? Like a Longines or something like that. You get these sort of higher end brands. If something like that comes into the auction room, unless it's got everything with it and you can prove that it's right, because we've had some lovely Rolexes in there in the past, it's going to just be sold as a watch. End of story. It's a watch.
It needs all its bits and bobs to give its credentials, doesn't it?
I mean, the problem is now, and I think it is becoming a real problem, is that they're making these what they call super clones, and sort of Chinese and so on, a reverse engineering. They'll take an actual top end Rolex, take it reverse backwards, take it all to bits, remake it, polish it, print it, do everything that they need to do. And some of these super clones now, you just got to look at some of the videos on YouTube. They're unreal. And some of the top experts are struggling with finding the differences. What chance have me and you got?
So they'll put all the receipts with it and all the paperwork.
Oh yeah, you get the box, the lot.
Yeah.
I mean, normally it's actually the boxes and stuff like that where they mess up. They do a really good watch, and they'll engrave the crown into the glass. They'll do everything right. The sweeping movement will be spot on. They'll put it in a really crap box, with a really crap card, and
they've not understood that part of it, have they?
No, and ultimately, I follow a lot of the watch guys on. I follow some of the American watch guys, Vucom, and Vucom is a young lad. Tyler is his name, and he works for a guy called John Buckley, and who's like, what this man doesn't know about watches isn't worth knowing. And I watch all this watch stuff going over on in New York, and then I look at the streets of London, where if you dare to put one of them watches on, they're probably going to cut your arm off to take it off you.
Yeah, but imagine getting your arm cut off for a fake Rolex.
And it must be a real problem for the big brands.
Yeah.
Because it is putting people off buying stuff like this. Because of the 1% idiots that think they haven't got to work to get anything, they can just steal it.
Yeah.
Would I wear a watch like that? No, I wouldn't.
You don't wear a watch, do you?
I don't wear a watch.
No, I haven't worn a watch for years.
I don't wear a watch. I mean, I've got no intention to wear a blingy watch just to prove a point that you've done okay in life. I'm not saying that's what all people do. Some people love watches. Some people love the movements. They love the quality. They love it. And they absolutely should be able to wear them without bloody fear of having them robbed.
I remember my old Casio calculator watch. I think it was the last watch I had.
When they decided to put calculators onto watches, I was like, that's so cool.
With me 7 tunes.
And now we sit and take the mickey out of it, and actually we've all got a phone in our pocket that's got a calculator on it.
Do you use your calculator on your phone?
All the time.
Yeah, I do.
All the time.
Wish I had it on my wrist.
I use the measure. I mean, as a buyer and a seller, I remember years ago sitting in Jackson Green and Preston in Grimsby, having some of the dealers moaning on at me about, you've got no knowledge, you know nothing, all you've got is that thing that's in your hand. Yep, I have, and it knows more than you. We've covered this off before, haven't we?
It is true, though.
Unfortunately, And then and since them days, we've moved on a notch. We've got AI now and Google Lens. I mean, it's amazing that even the dealers, so-called dealers back in the day that thought they had all the knowledge are even using Google Lens now.
Imagine we was researching something we got this week, and I think Kim got a little bit excited because she Google Lens this car, like an old Mercedes, and the back of it was an inkwell. So Google Lensed it, and it came up, and the AI description was perfect. It says like for sale, average price 1,950. So she's like, really? I said, no, it's resin, it's a copy, and it was a good copy, but it is plastic. But the Google Lens fetches it up at like
can only see what it sees, can't it?
Yeah. So if it's up on the front table and you've Google Lensed it without any knowledge,
it can be dangerous. And the other one as well is a really, really good app that I use called CoinSnap. CoinSnap is awesome because they've put a new AI bit onto it now, which actually grades the coins and gives you descriptions and everything. It's a wonderful piece of technology. But you put a fake in front of it,
it does the same.
And it'll say the same thing.
Is it that one? Have you got the app where you can sell it to somebody?
No,
because I've seen that advertised where you click something and it puts it onto a forum that people can buy from, or
sounds
you get
like
offered.
a plan.
Yeah, like Music Magpie used to be, and World of Books.
Last week, so this brings me nicely onto Music Magpie, World of Books and stuff like that. So what we are going to do, we spoke about it last week, and I'm going to put it together this week. We're going to do a video which is going to be not part of the podcast initially, because we're going to have to do the filming week on week as we go to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and so on.
All right.
We're going to put some stuff together and we're going to send it off to some of these companies.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what offers they come back with. Now, this is all part of the important buying and selling strategy. And then ultimately, we're going to sell it in the auction room. But the thing is, we're not going to put any of the information out until the whole of the process is finished.
Right.
So we'll do a video of us putting the stuff together. Then we'll talk about the company we've sent it to. We'll talk about the offer, and then we'll ask for it back.
Yeah.
Then we'll send it somewhere else. And so it's got to be fair. It's got to be done to 2 or 3 of these different places. We'll also make sure that everything comes back as well, because I think that would be important.
Yeah.
And then once we've done all that and we've got these, we'll then sell it in the auction one week without telling anybody, so nobody can preempt anything. No, it can't be influenced. And then we will do a genuine thing. Well, this is what Company A offered us, Company B, Company C, and this is what it made in the auction. And then when we're talking about people, and I'm confident now as we sit here that the auction will make the most money. And when you consider that most of these companies that are online put their stuff that they buy into auctions anyway.
Yeah.
You're not telling me they're just chucking it in a bin. They're selling it.
Yeah.
They're selling it somewhere. And my best guess is they're selling it in auctions.
Yeah, straight through auction.
So ultimately, watch this space.
Yeah, it'd be a good test,
I think it'd be a good test to do. And then, when the people that are watching from around the country, watching into Prestige Auctions, the podcast and that, and we're saying, send us your items, might give them a little bit more confidence in. But we've got to prove it right from the beginning, right the way through. And prove that we're being kosher with it as well, not just trying to make the auction. I mean, look, I will honestly put it out there. If one of the companies offered more than we make in the auction, it will get put out there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I just can't see it. Because I've heard what these companies are paying. And
we're going to put any Pendelphins in.
Pendelphins?
Yeah.
They're not worth out, are they? I don't think a company would offer us out for them.
They've had a massive fall from grace, haven't they?
Wish they'd all fall on the floor. Right.
Oh, I hadn't sold me altered Crapo di Monte. It's still there.
Oh, you thought you'd sold it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah. I think somebody's moved it, hid it behind something else.
China's, because it was hurting their eyes.
Yes.
Went to a house this morning with a load of Crapo di Monte and I thought of you. I think the thing is, a member of my family approached me this week and said, how much would I get for this gold? And started talking about sending it off. Oh, I'd get more if I sent it off. Will you? I sent gold off in the past, and I'm not going to name the companies because that would be unfair, but 2 different companies that I sent gold to both had different scales to me.
Right.
And their scales never, ever weigh more than what you sent.
Right.
They always weigh less. I always wonder about that. You know, is it just my scales are bad? When you consider that the scales that I use are the ones that trading standards actually recommend, and the £500 a set, my scales are pretty good.
Strange, that, isn't it?
And then all of a sudden, I remember sending some stuff off to one place, and it was 3.5 grams less on their scales than it was on mine.
So about 60 quid.
Well, back in the day, that was probably about 60 quid. It's worth more now. And you're thinking, so are you getting more money? Are you getting what they advertise? And I think this is the important thing. It's like, I don't want to name specific companies ever because it puts you in a precarious position, but some of these companies that advertise to buy your car, yeah, and they give you a valuation on the screen, and then you take it there.
And then they give it a right kick in.
And I'm only going through as I've never done this, but I'm going through about 3 or 4 customers have told me.
Yeah, I've had a few stories about that.
Some of the nationals, and they've offered them £2,000, and when they've got there, it's 1,400 quid by the time they've looked at it, because they're finding the tiniest little things. I get it. I get it. They're a business. They've got a bit of money, but
once they've got you there.
Well, it's once they've got you there.
Yeah, you can almost see the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking, well, they know at that point you want to get rid of it, and ultimately the chances are the missus are going to be sort of side you're going, well, I'm not bloody bringing it back again.
Yeah.
And
you make it easy.
And are they preying on that? I mean, look, there's another thing come out in the news last night. I was reading it on the news headlines last night about the way that more car finance has been missold over the years.
Oh, the commissions.
Yeah. And the sort of Martin Lewis was on there talking about, it could be up to sort of £995 each that people could get back up to. I've said that.
Yeah, the dealer's made a decision on how you've gone in there, on how much commission they're going to make out of you, and what they can get away with.
You'd have thought they'd have learnt over the years, wouldn't you?
There's been all sorts, haven't there?
Yeah, because we've all had some sort of money back somewhere, haven't we?
PPI.
and you just look back and think, just be right with people in the first place. And I mean, one of the interesting things about the buying and selling game is, what's that mug worth? Don't know if that's in the camera line. What's that mug worth?
Who's on it?
Oh, it says Latch on Lincolnshire.
50p.
Okay, so it's worth 50p. So if you wanted to buy that mug, you'd give 50p for it.
Yeah, well, I don't really want it, but it'd be 50p.
Yeah. Well, I look at it and I think, well, I could probably get 10 for £1 at the auction. So to me, it's worth 10p. So who's right?
It's all opinion, isn't it?
And that is some of the problems with this game, is that I hate it when I hear of particularly older, vulnerable people going to these leaflet drop places. The drop leaflets, they usually target small sort of villages. Yeah. Go to the church hall, pay them half a day's rent to stand in there, have a pile of cash with them, and then a queue full of old people go in there that maybe bought a gold ring in 1960 and paid 10 quid for it. All of a sudden they get offered 30 quid for it. That sounds quite good.
Yeah.
But actually it's worth 300. Maybe not that much. I don't know.
It is though, isn't it? It's always community halls and churches.
Yeah. And I just find that quite... One of our customers went and she was telling me that when she told me she was going to one of these things, I just went, really? And she went, well, I'm going to see what they offer. And they was, this particular one that she went to, they was offering 30% of the gold price that day. And people were selling. She didn't sell them it. Of course she didn't.
People were there handing it over.
But people were just handing it over. Yeah, I love that. And
that's why they keep doing it, because it is lucrative, isn't it?
It's a very big money maker. And the thing is, they're not doing anything illegal. Because you're making an offer. It's up to you whether you accept it or not.
So this is also people taking like a lazy option as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Sending stuff off in boxes and, well, you can ask for it back, but they don't because, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been worth more than that. Well, it's not. It is, but it's not.
Yeah, they're taking like an easy option and just paying for it.
And I think it's just... Anyway, it is what it is. People will only do what they want to do. So, you've been loading the auction room up today. What do you think?
Another massive sale.
Some good stuff?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I think I've looked at one or two bits already. I've already done the sneak peek, as I say. And I can see some bits in there that are good eBay vintage bits. Some very good bits.
I think there's a lot of that sort of 10 to 20 quid easy sale items.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mid-range stuff. I mean, there's some fantastic antiques in there, probably some sleepers again. But there's a lot of smalls for that vintage and eBay. But the furniture's good again.
There's quite a lot of modern furniture in there.
So it's a bit new and different. And have you seen the bubble wrap in the back room?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that actually. They are big rolls of bubble wrap, aren't they? I mean, somebody must have brought a van load in of bubble wrap.
What is it? Is it a dozen?
Easily. There's more.
6 foot by what? 3 foot rolls? Yeah. Yeah, I think he was coming back with some more. That's a massive amount of bubble wrap.
And it sells well.
Yeah.
I mean, bubble wrap's not cheap. I actually watched a YouTube video about how people are getting ripped off on Amazon and eBay.
What, buying the bubble wrap?
Buying bubble wrap. Selling bubble wrap. And they're advertising 100 metres, and this guy has done a YouTube video buying off different sources, but off Amazon, but off eBay, and so on. Rolls them out, measures them. Yeah. And not one was 100 metres. I think the highest he got to was about 90 metres. Yeah. Because who measures it?
You're not going to do it here.
He did. He did. He measured it and got a YouTube video out of it. I'm thinking... do you actually sit there and look at your roll of bubble wrap that's just arrived and sort of go, I'm not sure that's right,
Do you just take a chance and say, I ain't got 100 metres here, see what they do?
How many people are getting done? Right. Box, 1,000 rubber bands. I bet there are people that go, I'm going to count these. Don't know what gets me. And it's happened 2 or 3 times in the last 6 months. A jar of hot dogs. 8 hot dogs. 3 times there's been 7.
No.
Yeah. We are owed 3 hot dogs off Iceland.
Well, one of the local chippies around here owes me battered sausage because he missed it out of my order. Again. I
want to talk. You've brought something up to me. So talk about your battered sausage.
It's criminal. Because I'm not going back out to go and get it because I'm angry now. And I don't want to stand in the chippy having an argument about a battered sausage when the world's in such a state it's in. It doesn't seem worth getting in a fight about.
No, but I'll tell you what does. And it's something. It's nothing to do with auctions, but it's just got to me. It's finally it's broke me. You know, like I try and break Dave on a Saturday. Something has broke me. McDonald's.
What they done?
So I've had 4 instances now in local McDonald's, both me and Lisa, where things have gone horribly wrong. And I don't know why. I don't get how difficult some things can be. So the first one was there was me, Lisa, Stephen, and Lois was on the way to Yardbirds. And we was all a little bit hungry, so I'll tell you what, we'll just nip to the drive-through at Grimsby Road McDonald's. Goes through, can we have this, and this? Yeah, okay. and they say that dreaded word you don't want to hear. If you just park in a bay. I mean, really, you should just say no. I'm going to stay here because then they'll get your order quicker because you're blocking everybody else. But we don't, because we're nice, polite people. We go, yeah, okay, go and park in a bay. 5 minutes went by. At 10 minutes, somebody punched our car. That was a true story, that. Some kids were fighting, and one of them punched our car when he went to punch. But we ignored that, moved on. 15 minutes went by. We're getting to the point where we've got to go. I'm like, how come? And this is fast food. How come we've been sat in the bay 15 minutes? So I goes marching in and says, can you tell me how much longer our order's going to be, please? And this, you could see the blank look on this kid. He was like, he's looking at the screens and looking at the receipts on the side. And I went, where is it? And he went, I don't know. I said, get us a manager, will you? Anyway, the manager comes walking over. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, sir. He said, it looks like it's been overlooked. I went, how can it be overlooked? How? You've got to clear the screen, surely. So anyway, he goes, I'm ever so sorry. He said, I'll get on it now and I'll get it out to you. So waited another 7 or 8 minutes. So that was 25 minutes at this point.
Yeah, it's a long time when you sat
and come out. This was the funny bit. And went, I'm sorry about your wait. Here's 2 free puddings. And if you remember, we put them on the table at Yardbase. Do you remember that night? You probably can't.
I was probably welling by that point.
We brought these 2 in and said, anyone want these? Because we don't want them. So that was the first thing. Okay, things happen, things go wrong. Next instance was a few weeks later, as we do on a bank holiday Monday, we buy all the staff dinner. So we bought you all dinner.
Yeah.
We ordered the stuff from Victoria Street McDonald's, which was probably a mistake on my part. I meant to order it from the one up here, but ordered it from Victoria Street. So I took a member of staff with me. I'm getting chased around by the traffic warden saying you can't park there. So I'm keep moving while I'm waiting for Dean to go and get the McDonald's. Gets it back to work. Missing 1 Big Mac, 1 quarter pounder. So I rings them up. So you've got my order wrong. He says, I'm so sorry. He said, we're extremely busy. Okay, you're extremely busy. So why have you got my order wrong? It was quite nice on the phone. But then he infuriated me by going, well, I'll tell you what I can do, sir. If you can give me your name and telephone number, I'll put you in the book. And when you come in, we'll give you a free quarter pounder and a free Big Mac. And I went, how were they free? He went, oh, because we'll just have them there for you. I went, I've paid for them. You've not given me them. You've taken my money and not given me the item, which in theory is theft.
Yeah, you owe me.
So you owe me, but no apologies or anything. I was just like that. Oh, whatever, mate. And anyway, give me details. I've still not been in and claimed them. Okay, so this is all in not a long time period. I'm expecting comments on this next one because this is kind of my fault, but you do try and sort your customers out. So I'll give you the story. So I use the app to order a McDonald's, which is very technical for me, using an app to order a McDonald's.
I've got the KFC app, and I can understand the KFC one.
Can you? Well,
yeah. They don't do as much, do they?
Well, no, I need to obviously go on a college course to understand the Mackey's one, because I put in, it said, do you want to eat in or take away, whatever it was. I'm typing all the things. I went, right, cool, got it. And it gives you a number, yeah, that you present to them. So I goes up to Bircham Way, pulls into the drive-through. Hi, have you used the app today? It's the first thing they ask you. I went, yep. She went, what's your number? Bearing in mind, I'm in a lane of 2 now because it splits off into a fork, and I've got cars behind us, both sides. She went, have you got your number? 46. Let's say it was 46. She went, oh, I'm sorry. She went, that's a collection. I went, yeah. I said, I'm here to collect it. She went, no, you've got to come into the restaurant to collect it. I went, why? I said, I'm coming to collect it. She said, yeah, but you didn't let us know that you was coming through the drive-through. You told you was coming to collect it. She went, so our policy. Oh, our policy. I said, hang on. Before we go any further, I said, right, the counter is about 3 or 4 foot from the window for the collections. I went, if it's on the counter, maybe someone could just pick the bag up and give me at the window.
That's too
Sorry,
easy.
we're not allowed to do that. She went, so if you'd like to drive round, I went, no, I'm not driving round. I was furious. I thought, this is something that's so simple.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Michael Douglas falling down. You seen the film?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, you need to watch it.
I probably will on the back of this. But it only gets worse yet. So I'm thinking that she's gone off to talk to somebody. Next thing I hear is her on the other speaker talking to somebody else. And I thought, oh, they must be sorting something out. Anyway, I'm still sat there. The person that sat behind me must be livid at this point because he can't move. Anyway, next thing, about 3 or 4 minutes later, a different woman comes on and goes, hey, have you used the app today? I went, yep. I thought, bloody Groundhog Day. I went, yeah, I've used the app. What's your number? 46. She says, oh, that's a collection. I went, yeah, I've been through this once already. I said, listen, love. I said, she's an older woman. I said, listen, I said, I've obviously messed up. I said, I'm in a rush. I said, I thought, I'll do my order on the app. I've come through the drive-through to pick it up. I said, I've made a mistake. I said, I've obviously ticked something that says I'm going to pick it up from the counter. I said, all I need somebody to do is just grab that bag off that counter and give me at the window. She went, oh, we can't do that. We're not allowed. And I went, oh, not again. I said, well, listen, I'm not moving. I said, I am not moving. Now, maybe I was wrong here. I don't know.
You were digging in at this point.
But I said, and the reason I'm not moving, I said, is because we all make mistakes, don't we? I said, I've made one. I said, you lot have made 2 in the last few weeks. You tried to fob me off with some crap pies because you forgot my order at another McDonald's. I says, you missed a cheeseburger and a Big Mac off at another one. I went, people make mistakes. I went, so please just pass me the bag when I come to the window. I'll get a manager. I know, I asked for a manager. That was it. I went, just get me a manager. I said, this is ridiculous. Anyway, a couple of minutes later, she must have gone and spoke to a manager. And I think the manager, if you're watching the manager at Birchin Way, or one of them, I think you made the right decision. Because I think the conversation would have gone like this, although I didn't hear it. There's a guy that's freaking out the window because he just pass him the bag. Yeah. I think that's the conversation that happened because she went, yeah, if you just drive around to the window, we'll get you it.
Just needed a clearance.
Yeah. So I drove around to the window, took the bag, went, thank you very much, drove out. I made a mistake. And I'm blocking traffic. I couldn't get through the other way. And what did they want me to do? I mean, was that not simple to sort out?
Well, yeah, because the food is 5 yards, isn't it, from where it would have been?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have things happen in our business here with customers, and I just turn around and say, okay, yeah, we'll sort it for you. Yeah. We'll do it this way. Boom.
Yeah.
They walk away happy. Everyone's happy. Okay, so that's that one.
So their training systems won't allow them to think?
No, because the computer says no, isn't it? It's that sort of attitude.
Yeah.
So anyway, this week, so bearing in mind, this was Victoria Street, Grimsby Road, Birchin Way. This week, me and Lisa take the grandkids to seafront one.
Boating Lake
one, whatever it is, Meridian Point, whatever.
They've messed mine up there.
We got the order, finally. And I'll be honest, I used the app again because the queues are massive. So, and we didn't want to lose our table because, granted, it was stupidly busy in there. Kids' holidays and all the rest of it, yeah. And so you could see they were under pressure. So I ordered it and did it to be delivered to the table, put in table 46, actually. I think that's where I got the 46 from. So put table 46 and it arrived. Great. No issues. Oh, hang on. No, I've missed one. We went to Alton Towers the other week. Coming out of Alton Towers, you know the road out of Alton Towers before you get to the motorway? There's a big McDonald's on the corner.
There is. A horrible roundabout.
Yeah, they missed out the cheeseburgers. So there's another one. I forgot about that one, so it didn't seem as important as this next one, where we goes into McDonald's, orders the stuff, everything's fine. Then Lisa goes to order 2 McFlurries for the grandkids. She stood behind people in the queues. She bought them. People were walking up, ordering food orders, big food orders on the tap screens, yeah, and getting them before Lisa got the McFlurries. She had stood there 10 minutes. So she just said to somebody, she says, oh, can you find out where these are? Anyway, they didn't come still. So she says, can I see a manager? This young kid come over, who was a manager, and had a proper attitude with Lisa. I mean, he spoke to her like crap. Even our Charlie said when it was out of order. And he's 6, 5, 6. You know how crap I am. He's 6 years old. And even he could understand that this guy had an attitude with his nana for asking a simple question. And in the end, she had to literally wait 15 minutes to get 2 McFlurries when people were ordering Big Macs and God knows what. I mean, it's a machine that does that and you put a topping on.
Well, they rarely work. But you ask for a McFlurry on Grimsby Road, it's like, no.
No, not working, or the milkshake machine's not working.
I think I've only ever had one McFlurry out of there.
So Lisa's infuriated, absolutely steaming when she comes back to the table because of the way she'd just been spoke to by this so-called manager. So this woman who worked in there, lovely, she came over and said, well, what's the problem? And she went, I'll go get you up. She sorted it. Lovely, lovely girl. But Lisa couldn't leave it. On the way out, she has to speak to a different manager. Spoke to the different manager, and you could see he was just paying a lip service.
Yeah.
Just, okay, all right. She says, well, it's not on. She says, I don't deserve to be spoken to like that. So I asked a civil question. Didn't ask it with attitude or like that. As we were walking out, this manager had gone back and was talking to the other manager, and they both stood laughing. Mm. Now, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to big companies like that, you're just a tiny, tiny spot, aren't you?
Yeah. It's another one of those big...
But why? I mean, we've only got Laceby to go locally, and we've got them all. But why? How? Why and how can all of those get it so wrong so often?
Imagine how many else gets that. If McDonald's is watching and they want to send some complimentary stuff for all the hassle,
I'm sure stuff will be missing when it gets it.
Saturday around about 11 o'clock is a good time to get it dropped off.
I just don't get it. And it's not just McDonald's. I've had it at KFC. I've had it at the Chinese. It just
the thing is now, food's too expensive to get wrong. It's got to that point now when it's so expensive that if you get something crap, you're really annoyed, aren't you?
Yeah, I just found it quite... I don't think I found the problems annoying.
How they deal with it.
As the way that they deal with it. It's almost like a... Oh, well... don't get me wrong, I'm not asking for free stuff and stuff like that. But an apology.
Just do your job.
You're asking somebody to just do their job. You're right.
So are you now boycotting McDonald's?
Well, look, I mean, it's not my favourite takeaway. You can see by my belly, I like chips. So I'd much rather have a chippy tea. But the kids like it, and sometimes, McDonald's is the best option. And like my brother said, bringing McDonald's back up again after Armed Forces weekend, when he looked at the prices of the outlets on the seafront, he said, let's walk down to McDonald's because he's got 2 kids. And, they got dinner for 40 quid where it's going to cost them 70 quid on the seafront.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get, don't you?
So ultimately, McDonald's, I like McDonald's. I don't dislike McDonald's at all. I just sometimes fear that when some of these companies have got that big, the staff don't seem to care.
Well, most of their staff are kind of transient, aren't they? They're passing through for 6 months or a year.
But then that girl that dealt with Lisa, she was just somebody that was going around cleaning tables and getting bits and bringing orders out. She was lovely. She should have been a manager.
Was she older?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's where you get your best service, isn't it?
Yeah, I just found it quite. I think it's a shame because McDonald's is a massive brand. It's a good company that they do a lot for charity and all the rest of it. But sometimes they just let themselves down on the stupidest things. No, that's wrong. McDonald's don't let themselves down. Their staff let them down.
Is this the generation now that have kind of lost out on social interaction through COVID that are now in employment?
Yeah, I think that is a possibility. You've got these people that just, they don't care that they're representing McDonald's. They care that whether they get paid or not.
Clock on, clock off.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're not thinking to themselves, well, hang on, actually, I'm representing a massive name here.
Yeah.
And it don't. Well, if I get it wrong, get it wrong. Just
going through the motions. They're not interested in the work.
Yeah.
Are they?
Oh, just on the back of that as well. When the food did arrive to table 46, before Lisa had the discussion with the thing about McFlurries, my chips were stone cold. So I just literally walked straight to the front of the queue. I went, "Can I have some hot chips, please, mate?" And he did get me hot chips. He replaced them straight away and chucked straight in the bin. But I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The chips were a bit cold. I wanted hot chips. Can I have hot chips? And they sorted it straight away. Probably one of the reasons that I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, because they dealt with it.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the point.
You deal with it. It's not an issue, is it?
Yeah. Deal. If you get something wrong, deal with the problem.
Yeah.
Don't just talk to your customer like they're a piece of crap. We get problems here. And people come to us. Talk to them civilly, try and sort the issue out. Sometimes you can't sort the issue out. Sometimes the customer is wrong. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah. It's how they approach you with it makes a difference.
Yeah, but anyway.
So some people are already at level 10, aren't they?
Yeah.
When they get to you, they're already like...
Yeah,
right
they're already
there.
shaking and ready for a fight, and I'm thinking...
Where are you going to go at that point?
Yeah, don't just, I think a lot as well. I think it takes a lot of people, quite a lot, to actually go and complain because they don't like hassle in their life and all the rest of it. But if something's not right, then go by their policy. I mean, our policy here is no guarantees are given or implied. Yeah, so people know what the policy is.
Yeah.
I don't see a policy anywhere that says at McDonald's we may forget to give you parts of your order, or we may forget about you in one of our bays.
Your food may be awful.
Or our managers might talk to you like crap.
Yeah.
If that was all in their terms and conditions, you'd probably go, fair one.
Yeah.
They did tell me that was going to happen.
I was warned.
I don't know what that had to do with auctions, but anyway, there you go.
We've all got to eat.
We've all got to eat. We spend, as a business, we spend a few quid with these people. We treat the staff.
Like I said, it's not cheap now.
No,
if you're
cheap.
Paying for food, fast food, whatever you want to call it, it's not cheap. So you expect at least some level of service with what you're spending.
And you've got to be a business these days that stands out from the rest. Why did Prestige succeed when so many others had failed setting up auction rooms locally? Well, because we looked at what everyone else was doing and what they did wrong and made it better. And that's why we're sat here today, still doing podcasts and stuff like that, because we wanted to make it better. We wanted people to walk away with a good experience. And I think if I had a member of staff, or a member of the team, as Lisa would put it, that was continuously being awful to customers, being rude, not saying please, not saying thank you, and all the rest of it, the first thing I'd be doing is going, listen, they're our bread and butter. They're the ones that keep our business ticking. But then you've got to ask questions when it comes to the fast food business, and that you've got to ask questions of the managers. Realistically, I'd love to know this. If anyone knows the answer, if anyone's worked at McDonald's, whatever, what's the difference in pay between a normal worker and a manager?
Well, the age difference is about 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
The managers they all seem like they're like, I don't know, early 20s.
Years ago, there used to be a manager, a lady at Grimsby Road when we lived down Blundell Avenue, and she was a 30-something, maybe 40-something, lovely woman, So, do you know what? That place used to, when she was on, it used to run like clockwork. Everyone knew the place, everyone knew what they was doing, everyone was polite, everyone was friendly. Real nice.
She built a good team.
Yeah, you do wonder what's happened, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what has happened. We've run out of time.
It's flown today, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we've talked about all sorts of stuff. I'm not quite sure where fast food came into it, but it did. And, you know, these are some of the things that we just chat about every now and then.
I always wanted to talk about how people look like the dogs. But I think I'll have to save that.
We'll save that for another week, because I tell you another thing we need to do as well. You want to talk about people looking like their pets, and I can agree with that. And so, especially, in fact, look at these two pictures here on the screen. See if you think they look alike. And also, there's something that I think we need to cover off in next week's podcast as well, which is going to be some of the rules that are coming into place regarding HMRC and banking as well.
There's a lot that's going to happen this
that are
October,
being talked about heavily on social media, not so much in the press. But this October there's going to be quite a few changes that people need to be aware of. And you know, if we can help people be aware of that, then we shall. Listen, everybody, thank you ever so much for watching All Things Auction, the podcast, where we do talk about some things to do with auctions. We also talk about fast food and other things as well.
I'm hungry now.
I know. Should we go to Mackey's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon we ought to. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
We'll see you all very soon at the auction.